Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All Memphis Post Game Show. Where we break down, recap, review all of the Memphis basketball, University of Memphis Grizzlies basketball. Right after it happens, you don't have to wait for our takes. Right now, we will be discussing the Tigers. Let me pull up the final score. The Tigers win tonight. They beat East Carolina 71-54. And let me tell you, man, I went to the game tonight. First, I want to say thank you to everybody that watched the last video. Thank you for the support. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click a like if you like what I'm talking about. If you don't like what I'm talking about, just keep on listening, but click that subscribe button. But last week we talked about the state of the Tigers program after the Tigers lost to SMU after a bad game against SMU, and they had a chance to make it up this past week. So since last Thursday, they played 2 games. They went to Tulsa and they played ECU tonight. And just so we can be sure, I just got home from the game, so I didn't do that much preparation. But let me take the standings real quick to make sure what I'm about to say is actual and factual, as TLC would say, because the Tigers did go 2-0 in those games, but Tulsa and ECU are both they're both terrible. They're terrible teams. Tulsa is 0-7 in conference, and after tonight, ECU is 2-5 in conference with one of those wins coming against the Tigers. So if we take it back to the game on Saturday, where the Tigers played Tulsa at Tulsa, which has been a tough spot for the Tigers to play. Tulsa has been a team and a thorn in the side of the Tigers for years and years and years. And they went there and were down. Like I said, Tulsa is winless in conference, and they were down and they barely won. They pulled their game out about 1 or 2 points. I think it might have been 2 points. And Tulsa had a chance to tie it with a free throw with less than 13 seconds to go, and they missed a free throw. Memphis made a free throw, and Tulsa didn't get a shot off to end the game. So they went to Tulsa on the road, won a game, which they probably should have lost. And then they come back home tonight and play ECU, and they win by a sizable margin, but the game was way too close. They were only up by 4 at halftime, and I made a note to watch this as the game was going on. Consistent ECU shot around 23% for the game. Their field goal percentage was about 23% for the game, and they were still in the game. The Tigers had many chances to blow it open, but they couldn't. And actually, with about 14 minutes to go in the second half, ECU was down by 1, and they had 2 or 3 possessions where they could have took the lead, and they just couldn't do it. And the Tigers let them. The Tigers finally got control of the game, and pulled away. But I didn't see anything in these last 2 games to make me change my position on what I said after the last show. I think the team is still listless, directionless, identityless. They don't have an identity. The one thing I can say about ECU is you knew what they were going to do. They didn't have the players to get it done, but almost every time down the court, number 13 or number 20, he got a touch. And when number 2 was on fire, he was shooting the ball. I mean, ECU is a terrible team. They are terrible. I don't even know how those guys are Division I athletes, and there's no shade because it takes hard work to get to Division I. But I don't know. I don't know where they recruit. I don't know what they do, but they got to do better. ECU needs to put a better product on the floor. But I didn't see much from Penny's team. Didn't see much progression. Alo is throwing lobs off the backboard, terrible possessions, turnover after turnover. And they probably didn't have many turnovers tonight, but the turnovers that they had were glaring. Let's see, they had 16 turnovers tonight, which for them is a pretty good night. They shot 42%. ECU shot 26% for the game. I said I was paying attention to it. They weren't shooting the ball well at all. For the majority of the game, they were around 23, 24%. They shot 21% from 3-point land, ECU. Memphis shot 29. Memphis missed a ton of free throws. You can see it during the game because every time they miss the free throws, I got a perfect time where they could, if they make this free throw, they go up by 5 or 6. Got to give them some cushion, but they missed it. Memphis shot 17 to 31. They missed 14 free throws. They shot 55%. ECU was 10 to 14. I didn't feel that way watching the game, but Memphis out rebounded ECU 46 to 39. And this is where that physicality comes in. Box to ECU's two blocks. So watching the game, being there, and just to talk about the game as well. The crowd, it was an 8 o'clock game, a national TV game on ESPN. The crowd wasn't great. I think we pulled into the parking lot, into the arena, to the parking lot attached to the arena at about 7:35, and I saw a lot of empty spots. Saw a lot of empty spots that you wouldn't usually see for an 8 o'clock game. It's Thursday, I get it, but an 8 o'clock game kind of late. People can get off work, come to the game. It wasn't that decent of a crowd. It filled out, I guess, more closer to the middle of the first half, but still, some of the excitement is waning on this team, and it's partially because of the performance. Like they played against this ECU team, which I think a high school team in Memphis could give problems to. East High School in its heyday could give problems to them. The East High School team that had James Wiseman, Chandler Lawson, all of them folk could give this team problems. The old White Station teams that I was a part of back in the early 2000s could give the ECU teams problems. They just weren't a good basketball team, and Memphis let them hang around. It was a very poor display of basketball, bro. But it's some of the things that you see, and it just leaves you wanting more from this team, right? So, like, let's look at it. Tyler Harris played 26 minutes, had 7 shots. Tyler Harris had 2 shots in the first half. You can feel how you want to feel about Tyler, but Tyler's one of the best players on his team. And as a coach, you got to be able to know this is one of my best players. Maybe I should run some plays to get him some shots. Tyler is all of 5'4", and so he can get his shot sometimes, but he needs help in getting his shot. He's one of the shorter guys, so maybe run a play for him. There was something that you noticed, like although none of these dudes on ECU can make a shot, their coaches are running plays for them. Number 13, and number 20, he was an offensive rebounding guy. Number 2 for ECU hit like 3 straight. He hit 2 straight threes in the first half to kind of keep the game close. But the coach was running stuff for him, and that's one of the issues that I have with Penny's coaching style is that he doesn't dictate or take advantage of matchups. If you got any money Bates, run some plays for him, run some ISOs for him, run him off some screens, put him in whatever you got to do to make him feel comfortable. Like Tyler Harris, run Tyler Harris off a couple of elevated screens, get him off some curls to where he can get open. Tyler Harris has the full attention of the defense whenever he's on the court. He's not going to be able to dribble and do what he got to do to get into shots. And he ain't going to be able to make 30 footers the whole night. Run some things to get your players in the best possible position. Leicester had a good game tonight. 17 points, all 5 of 11 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3. A couple corner threes, played the guitar a few times. Leicester lets his offense dictate his defense, which is in a bad place to be as a junior. Even with the nobody like DeAndre didn't play, Jalen Duren didn't play, Landers didn't play, Jaden didn't play. Even without them, they still should. They beat this team by 20. They beat them by 17. But this game should have never been close after the onset. Looking at the stats, Imani played 22 minutes, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Took some bad shots. Penny got on him for taking bad shots, which I understand. But in the flow of the game, He hit a couple bad shots too. He hit a bad, the 1 3 that he made was a terrible shot, but it went in, so you're not too mad about it. Like we said, Tyler Harris, 3 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, 1 for 7. All of Tyler's shots were threes. Tyler's very good when he's mixing in his driving and his 3 point shooting. So there were no drives, and there was very little physical big man, whatever at the rim protection for ECU. He just couldn't get past his defender. And that's why you need, run something to get him out. Alo started, gave you 6.7 rebounds, 1 assist. Alo's Alo, man. I still don't understand why opposing teams jump his head fakes from the 3 point line. Like, they gotta be in a scouting report. Like, if Alo's gonna beat you from the 3, let Alo beat you from the 3, right? But Josh Minot was great tonight off the bench. I don't know what it's going to take for Penny to start him. I don't. I have no idea. Maybe he doesn't start him because of he needs some energy. He needs some production coming off the bench. So he would much rather have Josh come off the bench, which makes sense. Which makes sense with this depleted lineup. But he was a player of the game, man. He had 13 points, 12 rebounds. Errol Timberlake had 8 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. But this is what you get, man. Like, of course, Earl Timberlake and Josh Minot and all these guys will dominate this team. Like, you need to do this against better teams. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Tulsa game really irked me because they were down by 15 at one point, and they were down by 15 in the first half. And then they come back in the second half and they erase that 15-point deficit, or erase that deficit in 4 minutes. And it just shows you how potent this team can be when they want to be potent. And it's like, why don't they want to be potent all the time? Why can't they be potent all the time? What is it going to take for them to do that? Like, there's no way this team should have been within 4 points of them at halftime. It just doesn't make any sense. They should have been gone. You feel what I'm saying? It shouldn't have happened that way. And until this team, whether it's fully healthy or not, figures out how to put away some of these teams early so they don't even have to worry about some of the stuff they got to worry about, is going to be an issue. And that's coaching to me. That is just stuff that I don't know that if Penny can overcome. Like, this team should have been done with 10 minutes to go in the first half. They tried. They just couldn't get it done. I will say that they tried. I guess you can say they tried. Let's see. I'm looking at the schedule right now. So they don't play again for another week. They play at Cincinnati, who just lost to Temple. The American Conference is terrible. It's horrible. There's only one good team. There's two good teams in the American. No. There's one good team in the American Conference, and that's Houston. There's a wannabe in Memphis. And Memphis can be as good as it wants to be, but right now they got to get some shit. They got to get their shit right, and they got to find a way to get it right, and they not getting it right. Cincinnati lost to Temple, and they play them next Thursday. They play UCF next Saturday. UCF just lost to Wichita, who hadn't won a game either. So wow, we gotta. I might not do a show. I might do a show. I guess I'll do a show after the Cincinnati game. Even if they lose the Cincinnati game, it won't be much to talk about because this next stretch of games they got is going to be real difficult. Not difficult. It's going to be real telling for them. At Cincinnati versus UCF versus Tulane, at Houston, at SMU, and they got these breaks between these games. It's going to be interesting to see how they pull this out, man, and what they do, how they do it. It's going to be interesting. This is around the same time last year where they hit their stride. If you remember last year, they had an up and down out of conference season, an up and down start to conference. Then right around the end of January, beginning of February, they got into conference play. They settled down and they took care of some teams. I remember that because that's when we started doing these post game shows. Me and Mace started doing these post game shows right around this time last year. And the Tigers went on like a 10 game winning streak or something like that. Um, so we'll see if they can still do it. We can see if they still do it this year, but I don't know. Part of it is they're gonna get healthy, and part of it, a lot of it is health. If they get this team back to full strength, what is it going to look like? And I'm assuming that probably by that, I'm assuming by probably that Houston game on the 12th, they'll be back to full strength, but we'll see. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if a full strength team can combat some of the things that they have going against it. They still don't have great guard play. They got shot makers. Uh then the talent will do what they got to do. The talent will put them where they got to be, and the talent alone will beat a Tulsa and an ECU and a Tulane. But once you go into Cincinnati, which we know outside of this Tulsa win, they ain't been playing well on the road. Um, it's gonna be tough. And Penny's trying hard. Penny's trying hard, but he ain't trying hard enough. And this team ain't. There's no way this team should be 17 points close to them. Yeah, the line was 13. They covered. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, but they should have beat this team by 40. Like, this ECU team is terrible. Jo, you, me, Hurt, Ezra, and you pick whoever else could have gave this could have gave this ECU team some buckets, brother. If my boy Dwight watching, Dwight, any one of your AAU teams in Boston could have gave this ECU team troubles, bro. Like, this is not a team that should have been 4 points close to the Tigers at halftime. Oh, we got some comments coming in. Let's check it out. Herman Bloom says a few more huge upsets like tonight against East Carolina. Penny's crew may be a lock. Hey, man, they ain't going to the CBI, bro. They ain't going to. They gonna make it to at least the NIT. They gonna make it to at least the NIT. Jo says conference tournament champ. I get right now. That's all they can hope for, bro. All they can hope for is the conference tournament. All they can hope for is to be healthy come that time, and they can run four straight off, or three straight off, whatever they gonna be in the top 3 or 4 seeds, or maybe three straight off to win the conference tournament. Because even beating these teams ain't gonna do much for them. Like, bro, you struggled with a winless conference Tulsa. Then you struggled for 30 minutes with this ECU team. You got Cincinnati, who you would think is going to be tough at home. And then you got Houston. No. You got Tulane out. No, you got UCF after that, like I said, at home, which is not on national TV, actually. Um, yeah, man. It's interesting, bro. And, like, I don't want to sit here and talk bad about this team. People call me a Memphis hater or a Penny hater. I'm just a realist, dog. There's nothing that you can see. Nothing from this team has shown me any progression in any kind of way. In any kind of way. And I don't know. I don't know if they can do it. They have the talent to do all that they can, but I don't know if they will. And that's what we got to see. We have to see that. I saw Larry Brown on the bench coaching his butt off. Larry Brown was talking to people in people's ear. Um, Penny was in people's ear. Somebody didn't get back on I think it was Earl Timberlake. He didn't get back on defense. Penny cussed him out. Real. I was sitting in the suite across from the bench, and I can hear Penny say, "Get your ass back." And talking to Earl Timberlake about getting back on defense, because it was a missed shot on ECU's end. The Tigers had a missed shot, and the point guard is always the one guy back, and he wasn't back, and it led to a layup. Might have been an and one. So he wasn't too happy about it. And that's, so we'll see what happens. Am I If I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet that they beat Cincinnati. I'm going to bet that they win every game until they play Houston. And then after they play Houston, we'll see. I'm a betting man. I'm not going to bet that they win the conference tournament. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they get healthy, and we see what happens. But even with this team as currently construed, they will currently constructed, not construed, currently constructed, they should still beat half the teams in the AAC. They shouldn't have a problem with Temple. They shouldn't have a problem. UCF can get hot from three, as we saw. The defense got to pick up. The one thing that Penny's team is always going to do is play hard, and you can't discount a team for holding a one team to 54 points.
Right.
You can't do that. And right, Jo, you're right. They should be beating teams in conference by 15 points just off of effort, and they play hard. That's the one thing I would always say about a Penny Hardaway coach team. They play hard, blocks, dunks, diving on the ground. They make they make play. They play hard and they make plays they think are good. They're not like throwing a lob. They throw lobs at the wrong time. They throw lobs too hard. Um, See, this is why I need my boy with me because he bringing up points that I want to say. Like Imani should be better right now, and why isn't he? Like that's my like. Is Imani not getting better a byproduct of Penny not coaching him, or a byproduct of Imani? Because I was telling my I took my dad to the game with me tonight, and we were talking about freshmen and people coming in. Like, granted, we understand everybody want to tell you that Imani's only 18 years old. I don't care about that, bro. You made the decision to come play at this level. You better be ready. Ain't nobody forced you to come up here and play this level. You decided to come do this, and now you looking like you ain't ready for it. All right, so you come up here and you step up and play with the big boys, get ready to play like a big boy. But also, bro, you got as much talent. You got more talent. Imani Bates got more talent in his right pinky finger than anybody on the ECU team. I don't care about size. I don't care about height. I don't care about none of that. And the only thing you can do is shoot threes, get a breakaway dunk after Tyler throw the ball off his head. You ain't got no moves to get past nobody. I ain't seen that man do a crossover yet. I ain't seen him do a crossover to get past nobody yet. That ain't coaching. We can't put that on Penny. Yeah, like I mean we've seen some 17, 18-year-olds come into this college basketball game and do some things. Anthony Davis, RJ Barrett, Zion Williamson. Yeah, different body types, but whatever. It don't even matter. Chet Holmgren's out there in Gonzaga doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, what are you doing? But what I said before, what I always say, part of that is putting him in a position, putting Imani in the best position. If you know Imani, if you done seen Imani play 7 conference games and you know he can't get past nobody off the dribble, well, tell him coming off some screens. He still got a little bit of size. He taller than half the folk. He taller than half an ECU team. He might be able to post them up, but at least like put him in the middle or something, like, boom, boom, boom. And Penny better hope. Josh might not likes playing in college. Or Josh might not likes barbecue, or Josh might not likes Memphis. Because that boy gone. He gone. He already getting an NBA grade right now, late first round, early second round grade. The first 4 picks of the NBA second round get guaranteed contracts, 3 or 4 years. Think about that. That's how Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks was the first and second pick in the second round. He got 4 years guaranteed off the bat. So Penny better get to recruiting him, or Josh is gone. Why stay? You're not even starting, my boy. And then Penny got a whole starting lineup in red shirt. I need to look this up before next show. I'm gonna look it up. Y'all hold me to it. To figure out the red shirt rules because I would have pulled some of these red shirts. John Camden, let me see what you can do. No, what's the youngest? Jonathan Lawson. I don't have a point guard on my team. I need you now. Like, pull them red shirts, boy. Is it too late to pull red shirts? Can you like, when is I know there's a time when you have to decide to red shirt them, but can't you pull a red shirt at any time? Because at this point in time, I don't know. DeAndre Williams is 100 years old and he got a bad back. Backs don't get better. Backs don't get better quickly. Who knows? Jalen Duren and get sidelined. If I'm Jalen Duren, people, I'm telling him that he got a knee injury. He ain't got. I don't need you to do nothing else to ruin your draft stock, Jalen Duren. We know why you here. Just do what you got to do. Just do what you got to do. Landers, I told y'all if you've listened to a show in the previous before I started doing it, I don't understand why Landers still here. As soon as they signed him money, I would have been gone. I would have left, or I would have left at the semester break. I have no idea why Landers still here, and I don't know if he's really hurt or not. I would assume he is. I don't want to say anybody's faking the injury, but it ain't helping him. He wasn't on draft. He wasn't on draft boards last year. He ain't on draft boards this year. Why you? What's going on? I also thought about this. I'm just rambling now. Jo, since you're watching, tell me this: have you thought? Has there been a player in Minot? I'm thinking about Josh Minot to play college one. I guess not because it's fairly new, but to play college 1 year and then like to go to the G League after college, right? So it's like, hey, I don't want to play college anymore, and maybe I want to improve my draft stock. Maybe I can improve my draft stock more by playing for the G League Ignite and being in the NBA kind of environment and still getting paid more than I would from an NIL to get into an NBA draft. Right? If I mind that, I think about that maybe. I don't know. If I'm Josh Minot and the NBA G League Ignite team offers me $250,000, $300,000 to play one season with them, and maybe I'm worried. Maybe I think I can improve my draft stock. Maybe I think I can. I don't want to be a second round. I want to be a first round pick. I might do it. But if you got a late first, second round grade, go out. You know what I'm saying? The Ignite only offer top 10 type high school play. I'm saying though, but also the Ignite also has NBA veterans on. Like Jerry Jack played on the Ignite. Earl Clark was on the Ignite team. What's the other boy name? Amir Johnson was on the Ignite team. Maybe I don't know. That might not even be an option, and it might be a dumb option. It might not be a good option. Who knows? But if I'm Josh, and this how Penny gonna do me, I'm not staying here, bro. You crazy. Josh is thriving in spite of Penny, not because. You're right. Josh is thriving in spite of Penny, not because. I don't think Penny to put that man in no kind of situations to make him look good, but he's still out here doing it, and that's what it is. And so, like I said, man, we'll see what happens. We at 28. I'm gonna try to get to 35. We'll see what happens. But I mean, my opinion ain't changed about none of this. They beat two terrible teams. They've had trouble with one. That Tulsa team. Tulsa, good Lord have mercy. Not even that. ECU was terrible. I done said it again. I need to find another synonym for terrible. Because that's what ECU is. Penny's overprotected the offense. Penny's overcoaching them boys too. They scared to shoot open shots. I saw them turn down 5 or 6 open good shots tonight for no reason. No reason other than because I'm assuming that Penny told them that they had to do something. They scared to get subbed out. Penny sent in 3 subs at 17-minute mark in the first half. 3 minutes after the game started, he subbed 3 people. For what? Let them. They ain't even broke a sweat yet. And that ain't even all the whole team. You talking about you got too many players? Half your team in jogging suits, fresh jogging suits, by the way. It was a blackout tonight, um, which was cool. But if you can't handle a team with this much talent as a coach, maybe you shouldn't have a team with this much talent. I will always go back to say you can pull up the old episodes and listen to when I say it. This team was a tournament team before they added Jalen Duren and Monty Bates. Hell, even before they added Josh Minot, this was a tournament team. This was a tournament team just with Lester, Alo, Landers, DeAndre, and whatever big they brought. This is going to be a tournament team. Just the right amount of experience that you need. Maybe having Josh come off the bench because he had already committed. It's a tournament team. And maybe if all this other stuff don't happen, they were gonna go anyway. Damian was gonna leave, DJ was gonna leave, Boogie's gonna leave. Matter of fact, let me check the score. Boogie playing right now. SC is playing Stanford. No, they got a game. SC's only about 1 against Stanford. Shout out to my boy Adam Cohen, assistant coach for Stanford. Old roommate in Arizona. Shout out to University of Southern California. I worked for the Trojans for 2 years. I was out there for 3 years, 2 seasons, 3 years. Boogie got 11 points, 4 or 5 from the field. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's right, man. Coach K has the pedigree to sit down McDonald's guys. Penny doesn't. And Penny overshot, man. He put too much talent on his team and he don't know how to manage it. He don't know how to work with it. He don't. Which is always gonna be a problem. Even with his AAU teams, it was the same way. Even with Team Penny when they won Peace Jam, it was the same way. But that's just something that we know because we in this market, we in this area. That's just what we do. So to bottom line it, my stance hasn't changed. Still waiting to see something that I don't think I will see from this team. What I saw tonight really made me sad. I saw a bunch of Memphis fans very happy to beat ECU. And it should never be that way. Memphis fans should never be as happy as I saw them tonight to beat ECU. Like, usually when you look at the schedule when it comes out in September or whenever the schedule comes out, you already mark a W by ECU's name because you should beat them regardless. You beat them just by waking up in the morning. But people were filing out of the FedEx Forum with smiles on, like super happy, clapping, jumping for joy because we beat ECU. And that's sad. That's sad, bro. That ain't that ain't good at all. You know what I'm saying? And I know, we've lost to ECU, and this Josh lost to ECU, Tubby lost to ECU, Penny lost to ECU. Yeah, they were all terrible when it happened. Josh was bad for losing to ECU, Tubby was bad for losing to ECU, and Penny's bad for losing to ECU. Should never do it. Should never happen. Josh was bad for losing to Tulane. Tubby was bad for losing to Tulane. Penny's bad for losing to Tulane. It should never happen. That should never happen. Never ever happen. Let me think of another conference. That's like I guess Gonzaga, right? Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference losing to Santa Clara. Why? That would never happen. Gonzaga people will never be happy that they beat Santa Clara. San Francisco is just getting good. I'm trying to think of another WCC team. Portland. University of Portland. Should never be close. Is Pepperdine in WCC? Pepperdine should never get close to beating the no, Pepperdine's not in the West Coast Conference. Pepperdine is in the West Coast Conference. Like, Pepperdine should never get close to beating Gonzaga. Ever. Gonzaga's fans shouldn't be happy that they beat Pepperdine. Memphis fans shouldn't be happy that they beat ECU. It's a terrible that's a terrible feeling. You shouldn't do that. But like I say, they got the talent to win games. They got the talent to win games. They play hard. And you know what? They play in a conference where all you got to do is just kind of show up and you should beat some of these teams. But also, if you don't show up, you're going to lose some of these teams. Same way you almost lost to Tulsa. But your talent outshone them. And you got a week off. That's the crazy thing. You got a week off to get ready for Cincinnati. And you should beat Cincinnati. You beat them once, you should beat them again. And it shouldn't be as close. Maybe maybe you're healthy. Maybe you're healthier by the time you play Cincinnati. You get Jalen and Landers or Jalen and DeAndre, or you get any combination of the guys back. Um, and you see what happens. But I won't hold my breath, man. If they beat like them beating Cincinnati ain't gonna be nothing earth shattering. Unless they look good doing it. They winning these games, but they're not looking good winning these games. Like you can't walk away from that game feeling any kind of way, feeling any better about that team. Imani, Lester, Nolly, Minot, Duran. That's the five. I feel you. And actually, bro, right now, Jay, I think that I think I would even put Tyler in for Imani right now, just because I can trust Tyler a little bit more. And I need something similar with some semblance to a point guard that I think, right? That's what I think right now. I want Imani to score more than 20 points. That's what I want. There's no reason why he can't. Like, run him some ISOs. Like, put the ball in his hand, run him some ISOs. Hey, bro, look, I ain't taking you out. Do what you do. Stop thinking. Just play ball. That's part of the reason why whatever they talked about earlier is when he set out, like his mind wasn't right. Well, get his mind right. And still, you got to part of being a coach is instilling confidence in these guys. Yeah, if you make a mistake, I might get on you, but I still want you to keep playing hard. You make a mistake, I might take you out, but I'll put you back in. Like, there's a lot of micromanaging, a lot of short leashing going on, and it's hurting the team. You can tell. Like I said, we saw people. I saw people passing up shots. I know they can take and make, but they scared that Penny gonna take them out. But hell, who we gonna put in? Same thing with Earl Timberlake. They're talking about Earl got to build his confidence. Shh. Earl like a football player too. That boy, broad shoulders. But anyway, man, that's 38 minutes on this team. All of that to say, like I said, all of that to say, they they have the opportunity and the chance to do something special. They could run the table outside of the Houston games. I don't think they will. I think sometimes the moment gets too big for them. If they run into a disciplined team, I think the moment gets too big for them. Like I said, they're made their big wins. That big win against Alabama was because Alabama was a running gun team, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. They can play like that. But if they run against a team, maybe that Tulane, well, that their talent will eclipse Tulane. Maybe against Houston, maybe at home, Cincinnati can play to their identity and they can slow the game down a little bit and make Memphis play the style that they want to make Memphis play the style that Cincinnati wants to play. Because it doesn't behoove any team to play an up and down game with Memphis because that's what they thrive in. You want to change the tempo a little bit. Um, Chris Massey. Somebody said that Chandler got a rebound tonight. He looked like Joey Dorsey, and I almost threw my beer at that person. I really did. I almost threw my beer at that person that said that Chandler got a rebound that looked like Joey Dorsey. I said no, no, and that just lets me know that Memphis fans are delusional and will always be. So, for the third time, the bottom line, they got the talent. They got to put it together, and until they do, I mean, my mind won't change. I haven't seen this team play a complete basketball game. Can they? I don't even know if they can play a complete basketball game. I don't know if the people on the sideline will allow them to play a complete basketball game. Maybe the Alabama game was complete. I don't want to be too hard on the Alabama game was complete, but the style. I mean, styles make fights, and that was a perfect style for them. Um, so we'll see. They got we're gonna do this again next Thursday. Tiger Talks Thursday. They play one game. They play next Thursday against Cincinnati, and we'll see. Maybe they put it together then, and they have a really good showing. But I haven't seen much progression from this team and from any individuals. And so my point remains the same. Until we see that, until we see some consistent growth and progression from this team, every game gonna be a crapshoot. You don't know what to expect from this team every game, and that's tough. Starting February, you got a month left in the season to get it right. You will hope they'll be playing some consistent ball, something you can kind of count on. What can you count on every night with the Tigers? The only thing you can count on is them playing hard. You can't count on points from somebody. You can't count on rebound. I guess the most consistent player on this team is Josh Minot since he started getting minutes. But let's pass that collection plate around. Take up this offering and get on up out of here. If you haven't already, press the subscribe button on YouTube. Go and do that. If you watching on Facebook or Twitch, go on and do that. Subscribe, comment, like, share. Let everybody you know that cares about the University of Memphis or Memphis sports in general. Let them know what we're doing over here at Down in the Bluff. Shout out to Demetris Jamil Morant, or as you would know him as Ja Morant, for making the All-Star starters. Let me make, what is his real name? His real name is close to that, but let me get it right. Demetrius Jamel Morant. Shout out to Ja for being voted NBA All-Star. Grizzlies got 2 tough games this weekend. They play the Utah Jazz tomorrow night, which is Friday the 28th. And then they play the Wizards on Saturday the 29th, the 28th. Homecoming to Mike Conley. You know, we love Mike here in Memphis. Everybody's always happy to see Mike. Rudy Gay is also on that Utah Jazz team, and Memphis loves Rudy Gay. So it's going to be a good night at the Forum tomorrow. I probably won't be there. I might go, might not go. But shout out to Ja for making the All-Star team. Shout out to Desmond Bain for making the rookie game. I don't even know if that's been announced, but I'm saying he gonna make it, so he gonna make it. And just shout out to the Grizzlies, man. They do have a great season, and we're gonna get on here and talk about them at some point. Maybe during the playoffs, maybe right before. They play too many games to do these like we used to do. But with that being said, collection plate pass around, get a benediction. Everybody bow your head. Hey man, I will holler at y'all next Thursday for Tiger Talk Thursday. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like on all platforms. And with that, like we say, how I use it in the kickback. Stay safe, stay woke, keep your head on the swivel, and we are out. J.O., holler at me, my boy.